Hey, good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending another round of our CARM open mic session. I'm Maria, the marketing manager at GHY, and I will be moderating this session today. We've allocated 30 minutes today for our fifth and last open mic session for the week. This session is dedicated entirely to your questions. It's an opportunity to get answers and learn about the most frequently asked questions GHY has received since the official launch of CARM. So here's how we'll manage the questions this session, like every other session. First, we encourage attendees to ask their questions live. To do this, please use the raise hand feature by navigating to the top of the Teams window to the meeting controls area and select that little hand icon. We'll call on people in the order that hands were raised. Once we call on you, please turn on your microphone and video to ask your question, then turn them off again when we either have completed answering your question or after you've asked your question and have nothing further to add. As a special incentive, we're offering a little GHY gift box that includes a GHY Blue Guide for the best live asked question. If you prefer not to speak live, that's okay. You can type your question into the Q&A discussion area, and you can access this by navigating to your meeting controls area and clicking on that Q&A icon. We will alternate between live questions and those in the Q&A, making sure to address everyone in turn as best we can. So after this session concludes, we will be sending out links to access the recording of this session and some other useful resources on CARM to explore. So our speakers today are Al Dewar, GHY's Executive Vice President, and Sarah Marcotte, our CARM and Special Projects Manager. Now let's open the floor with a bit of an intro by Sarah and Al.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Maria. As we've done pretty much every session, we just want to let you know, for those who are new and have maybe not attended our previous sessions, we want to ensure everybody understands and is comforted that the border fluidity is at the utmost importance to CBSA, to us as your broker, and that your CARM portal, the CARM activity, doesn't affect the release of your goods. They do continue to flow into Canada, and we are here to support with that final accounting of your goods to ensure that that piece of the puzzle is what's complete. Of course, that is where the importance of the delegation of authority comes in, and ensuring that you have the appropriate delegation to your brokers or to whoever it might be that is completing those entries on your behalf. One of the pieces that we've definitely seen is that we're not necessarily final accounting for all entries, because our goal is to ensure that our clients' needs are met and that their entries are as accurate as can be. So we continue to work directly with CBSA, with service providers, whoever we may need to ensure that those system issues that are still prevalent with CARM are being addressed prior to sending anything that we just don't feel is going to be the accuracy that is required. So we continue to work with CBSA, and we'll continue to update you.
So just to punctuate what Sarah said there, everything is releasing, everything's been clearing fine, and that was part of CBSA's transition plan. They knew that with such a large program such as CARM, like more than 60 billion pieces of data gathering and bringing together multiple different programs into a single program, they were expecting challenges. They wanted to make sure the release wasn't encumbered in any way, and it hasn't been. So goods have been being released, but there are challenges. There's lots of challenges when it comes to accounting. Funny enough, or maybe it's not that funny, one of CBSA's biggest challenges happens to be in duty relief codes. Those codes aren't properly set up, so they're working to make those changes. Because CBSA do the calculation after we do the calculation, and we know this is an issue, those entries aren't being accounted for right now because we don't want you and other brokers, if you happen to use a broker other than GHY, other brokers don't want you to pay duty when you shouldn't have to pay duty. So there are various amounts of entries that are sitting in a queue waiting to be sent for final accounting. Many of them missed the October, but we anticipate CBSA is going to, we hope CBSA is going to clear these issues so that everything can be completed in November from an accounting standpoint. Everything cleared, just we want to make sure the accounting is right.
Thanks, guys. Okay, we've got our first question from Hope here. Did the CBSA have to update all customs brokers' profiles on their back-end servers?
So Hope, I think you may have asked this question before, so I'm wondering if we're misunderstanding the question. Are you able to come offline just to maybe provide a little more detail on what you're meaning by the customs brokers need their profile
Actually,
updated?
maybe I'll try it a little bit too, though,
Okay,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
and if Hope comes off, that's great. So
Can
what
you hear me
had?
now?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
you can. Thank
definitely.
you.
I think I would like you to have Mackenzie call me when he has a minute too. If you
Sure.
could do that, I think
Yep.
you have a yes.
Good.
The reason I'm asking, I've been on since, well, before the 21st, but definitely every day on from the 21st, and I can't find any of my entries anywhere. And I'm asking our broker, but this is what they're telling me. There's issues. They get, CBSA gets confused, and now they have to do something with the servers, these back-end servers. And I don't know what that means. I don't think I asked that question before, though.
Oh, maybe
But
somebody
maybe
else did.
somebody else was having the same issues that I'm having,
Perhaps, yeah. So I guess
which is a relief to me, because I'm thinking, what am I doing wrong here? But I cannot find anything.
well, this is definitely an unknown to myself.
Okay, so what I was going to share, Sarah, first off, you should be able to see a list of declarations as it relates to you, and we're happy to take that offline or connect with you offline to showcase where and how to look for that. How I interpret your question is, in addition to where those transactions are located, it used to only provide the transaction numbers. Now it, in fact, in addition to the numbers, the first 5 digits of the number refer to who your broker, your custom broker, CBSA call it the filer is. The
Yep.
first 5 digits refer to the filer code, and the filer code name is now shown as well. So if you use GHY, FedEx, UPS, and whomever else, you would not only see the numbers, but you would also see the filer name. So I thought that was what the question was making reference to, because they did enhance the visibility. We'll happily connect with you offline. I think we have your email as to showcase you where to look for that later.
Well, on the 31st, I found a list of, I think there was 20 pages with 10 entries on a page.
And you
And
can make it go up to, I think, 100 or whatever. Like, you can have a drop down bar as to how
it
many.
kind of said, need your attention. So I snipped them all because I couldn't scroll down. So I snipped every page, and I looked at, now I can't even find those. I can't
Okay.
find anything. And our broker says they haven't submitted any CATs.
Okay, so I mean, the first thing to keep in mind would be that section that says that there is something that needs your attention. That is not needing your attention, but whoever does handle that for you. So in this case, whoever that broker may be is the one that will be final accounting. So they are probably in a similar situation of us saying, hey, you know what, we're not quite ready based on our system reviews, these goods, we will not final account. So they will sit there and show that they are, I think it says CAD due or past due, and then needing your attention. And that is for us as your broker or whomever that broker may be to action. And as soon as they do submit those, they will be off that list. Now, if what you're saying is now that list appears to be empty, but you can't find them anywhere else, I definitely think at that point, let's take it offline. I can try to walk through if you are willing to show me your portal.
Of course.
I can walk through with you, and then we can see what seems to be the issue, because I haven't heard that specifically from CBSA, so it's hard to say what you're.
And this will be, but after it goes past
Yeah.
it's not going to be the greatest. Like, there's a list of submitted declarations after it passes what Sarah made reference to, that things go into that particular status. But we'll happily walk you through that, either showing you on our demo account or based on your account, so that you get a bit more visibility.
So Lorraine, you said you're experiencing the same issue, but then you continued with, you cannot see the details to the changes. So I don't know if that is the same thing that Hope you are seeing, and what you mean by you cannot see the details to the changes.
So I can see where the charges come, that we have a charge. And when I go to click on it to find the details, like what the shipment is for, I see none of that.
So are you in transactional history or are you looking in declaration?
Transactional.
So transactional history is basically like your what we would receive as a daily notice, and it's just a list of your transactions. You're not going to get any more detail on there except what you can scroll through. You can dump the information, so you could run a report based on specific activity that you may want and then dump it as Excel. But if you're looking for more details on the actual entry, you're going to want to go into the declaration field and go to your list of submitted declarations. And in there, you're going to see a list of anything that has been finalized as a CAD. It will not show any of your past history, where the transactional history shows up to 2021. The list of declarations shows as of when your CAD started submitting after October 21st and forward. And there's a spot where you can go and you can view. In there, you can view the entry as it was declared, and then right down at the bottom, you would also be able to pull up your CAD. It may take some time depending on how large it is. If it's a very large entry, there may actually be more than one. It kind of depends. It can be a little bit tedious to pull it out of the portal. It's not really my recommendation. You should be obtaining that from your customs broker.
But it does exist there.
It does exist there.
So if you choose,
two areas.
yeah.
Hope, does that help you with yours, or that's not what it is that you're looking for?
Right now, I can't find anything. I can't
Anything,
even
okay.
find that list that I found
Yeah.
on the 31st. I can find nothing.
Okay. So yeah, I'll take yours offline. Lorraine, does that seem to clarify it for you though?
Yes, yeah, I'll take a look at that for sure.
Yeah, and then if you're still having difficulties, just message me and I can again walk through it with you as well, definitely.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
That.
Thanks, Hope. Thanks, Lorraine. Okay, we'll jump into some more questions that have come through. Next one is from Joshua. Will all prior entry details, B3s, be migrated over so that there will be a single place to pull historical import reports? As a part of this, can B3s and CAD, commercial accounting declarations details, be combined into a single report?
It's a wonderful question. But you have to keep in mind that these are two different systems. You have a legacy system that was closed down, and that is what holds your B3 data. And you have the new system that holds your CAD data. CBSA did not input the B3 data into the CARM portal. Now, we have the ability to individually, and this is actually the only way to do it, is to individually pull an entry in, which is quite tedious and time consuming because there's multiple, there's new data fields that need to be incorporated. So it takes a little bit, but en masse, you're not going to be able to see that. So you're going to have two separate reports. If you're looking for reporting, I think you could run a B3 report, sorry, a CAD report through the portal. But for any past data, it's a firm report.
So answering your question, no, they don't combine. And the only way they can combine is kind of one at a time, as Sarah alluded to, and the extra data input to make that happen likely is not practical.
So Joshua says, perfect. Thank you. That helps.
I think he also said, ouch.
And he also commented, yes, it's a little bit of a painful process for sure. Okay, we'll go to the next one here from Trace. I used to import under E29Bs as the items I import are repaired and then returned to owner. Am I correct in that I would need to pay the GST, PST duties myself instead of my broker covering these on bond?
So there is some changes to the way that E29Bs or temporary imports work. E29Bs, if you have any that are open, those will remain open until they close. They stay as they are. And in the new system, it would be under a temporary import permit, or the form is called BSF 865. As for how that security operates, there's still a lot of work with CBSA to better understand what their ask is and how to properly support the importers there. But you require a temporary import bond so that you are posting security against your temporary imports. So again, that's definitely something to reach out to your broker and discuss with them, and to, to figure out what your options really are there, whether that be they can help obtain a bond on your behalf, or if you need to go to a surety company.
I think I'd like to punctuate just a little bit. One of the things with the regular entries is it used to have the capability of being on the broker bond, even though it was on the importer's business number. The same thing applies to E29Bs. Most or many brokers would have had posted the bond on behalf of the importer using their own bond. Now it has to be on an importer's bond. So the whole aspect of financial controls all relates, or financial security, I guess, all relates to the importer.
And it's important to understand that if you have goods that are technically duty-free under a certificate, and you supply that, it's the officer's discretion if a security posting is even required. What does that mean? That means let your driver go to the border, find out if they need the security, and then attempt to obtain it. So not ideal. And where my recommendation is, talk to your broker and trying to figure out what you can do so your driver doesn't end up at the border and suddenly required to post security.
Funny comment from Josh about the E29B. So the most important question here is, are Taylor Swift's 90 plus trucks moving? Indeed, you don't want to get those stuck at the border. Okay, we'll move on to the next question here from Joshua again. We have delegated full authority to our broker for a specific BN9. Certain employees of the broker can only see 3 of 4 RM accounts, while others see all 4. We have confirmed both in the CARM portal and on the phone with CBSA that access has been granted for all 4 programs. Is this a known issue, or have you heard of something similar?
So, if it's certain employees of that brokerage company, it could very well be the delegation the broker has supplied that specific employee. So much like you have a delegation you can supply to all employees within your business. So let's say you have the 4 RMs, you could have employees delegated to only one of each RM. Same thing for us. We can delegate our employees to either no clients, to specific clients, and it just depends on what level they have. Does that answer your question,
So
Josh?
let me punctuate a little bit. And Josh, what we'll do after this session, we'll provide you our understanding of the last known understood issues. I don't see that one. I don't see that one listed as yet. And probably one of the reasons is they're so busy trying to work on the functionality of calculations, et cetera. They're maybe not looking at that as yet. I don't see that having been reported.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue. I'm pretty sure that's just a delegation. Like,
okay.
And part of what we saw is, prior to CARM go live, I had all employees with what delegation I wanted them. And what we have as brokers, like if I give my employees only editor capability, they can't see any clients. So we have to create profiles for our clients and then allow our associates to see that. So that's what brokers have to set up. And on October 21st, they wiped out every one of my profiles that I created, and I'm still working to reactivate them. So I know I even have some employees who do not see the clients they should, and that we're working through it ourselves as well.
Additionally, we just learned something yesterday, which we found, or I think we found quite surprising. In as many things as CBSA is backlogged on, some of you may receive a response like this, where they're now acknowledging, because they're working on so many things, if you're just calling about getting a business account manager reset or something along that line, they're not anticipating getting back to people until December. So quite disappointing. but they're communicating to some that November might be a bit of a write-off.
Thank you. Okay, so we've got another one from Joshua as well. Have brokers been able to approve bonds electronically via the CARM portal yet? If not, is there a timeline?
So I'll start that one. Some have been able to do that. Others are still working to be able to do that. So the functionality has begun to exist, and some are reporting success.
So I'm just going to clarify something. Brokers cannot electronically submit bonds, but the surety companies. We can only assist with facilitating, but the surety company has to be the company to electronically submit.
So you know what I was thinking? I was thinking about surety brokers. So the word broker could be more than a custom broker.
You got me. But we've heard of a couple that have the capability, not all yet. I haven't seen how it's like if it's properly coming through as of yet. Filing within your portal will not go anywhere unless you've worked with your surety company or with the broker to support you with that surety company. So ensuring either it's being sent from the surety company to your portal or through support of the surety company and or a broker.
Thanks, Joshua. Those are some great questions. And yeah, thank you for the great answers there, Al and Sarah. So we've got another one from Jenny here. How long does it take for CBSA to approve the bond so the surety can submit the bond?
Well, that's a loaded question, Sarah. You want to get into that? Because it's quite a two-parter, at least.
Yeah, I would love to say it's instant, but again, because we've seen very little on the electronic portion, what CBSA says is that when the surety company has completed their process and they send it through an API connection to the portal, CBSA should just see it and basically check that off. They shouldn't need to be approving it because the surety company has already completed their process. I have not seen how it is truly being accepted yet, so.
So we've heard anything from it can be instant in the pure API world to seemingly still several weeks.
As for paper bonds, that is upwards to 3+ months. I have not received any approvals in over about 3 months for paper bonds, and I hear back and forth. They are doing bonds, they aren't doing bonds. So it's been very, very vague on what CBSA is approving there.
But speaking to Joshua's comment and Sarah's punctuation as to the surety organizations that are linked, those that are linked, the bonds are going through and very expediently, but there's very few that are fully linked as yet, but we're expecting more with every day.
Yeah, they're all working with CBSA directly, and you know, I mean, we can only imagine how many they need to get on that portal, so it'll take a little bit.
Thanks, guys. Okay, we've got one from Sandra here. I have a notification. A new statement of account has been generated and is now available. Date posted 10/25/24, but not able to see. I am the gal earlier. I cannot see anything.
Oh, that's so you can see that it's posted, but you can't see the PDF. That like wow, I've not seen that of you.
So I have 3 accounts that are actually all independent, but they're run by one person, and their SOAs are not there at all. But I said, let's wait and see about the notifications, because when I went to the notification field in the portal, there was nothing there. Whether she or he received a notification, that I'm not too sure on. I would definitely reach out to your broker or CBSA in regards to that, because I do not believe that there is anything been posted as an issue. I mean, I think there was some saying actually that the SOA has been missing. So
that could speak
that
to
could speak to that
issue. And we don't have a status update on that issue at this point in time. But I haven't seen it as.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Let's see here. We've got no further questions that are pending. We'll give the audience a a minute or two here.
I think Jenny's just commenting that hers was sent to CBSA from the surety company on the 4th, and that the surety company is saying CBSA could take up to 30 days. So that may give you a little bit of understanding. Now, when you say it's a little concerning, keep in mind that you do not require to post security at this time. You have a 180-day grace period, so you're ahead of the game. You have time for that approval. And that's one of the things we as brokers are keeping in mind if we're supporting our clients is we're not going to go and send to try and get a bond in on the day that it's due, right? You want to provide time.
You've got till April 19th in order to have a bond in, so
You'll be good.
yeah, you are so far ahead of everybody else.
Yes, thank you for confirming that there is that 180-day grace period. Okay, well, let's see here. No further questions quite yet, but I can dive into some other questions that we've had in the past. And this is kind of, I guess, it might be an obvious one for most, but can you go into more detail on the RM identifier that is required in CARM?
So there's perhaps some, well, there's some misunderstandings, and there's also some issues that have come to light with RM. So depending on kind of what the context of this question was, there's a couple different answers. But the RM is, for the most, you're importing and exporting account. So you've got your BN9, and then with that, you'd have RM, say 0001. Typically, that 0001 has been designated as your import. And if you export as well, then you require its own RM. And typically that does become RM 0002, depending on the way it's been designed.
So there's another comment up in there from Roslyn. I've got a notification for financial security that appears to be double the amount. So we're going to try to cover that off in two ways. First, the first way is to provide CBSA with a bit of an excuse. And when I say that they are having issues in certain cases, and this has been reported, in calculating things correctly in that regard. So they are reviewing that. It's been escalated. You're maybe one of those cases. It's not consistent, but that's one. The other side could be if I'm you and I'm thinking, well, I only need surety for 50%. Why does it show double? The reason for that would be they're asking for security on the basis of if you were to post cash. If you post a written security agreement such as a bond instead, you only have to cover 50% of what is that highest month being displayed.
And just, I think to cover part of the problem that has occurred is the portal. So the portal shows your 100%. And then like Al said, you actually only need to post 50% if you're going to get that written security. But if it's been posted, so if you've obtained or you already had a bond and it's showing double the amount of bond, that should be correct because your bond is only 50%. My understanding right now, though, is the portal is not correct and is only showing the 50%. So hopefully that answered the question, but there's definitely some system glitches there that they're still working through and are known issues.
Thanks, Rosalind, for that question. We've got another one from Trace here. First, thanks for the answer. But wait a second. She's saying, hold on. I still have 6 months to pay the bond surety. She's just wanting confirmation, I guess.
So okay. Whenever you get the bond or surety, you have to pay for it. But it's not required. We're in a grace period right now. Like there were some service providers that were, when they were requested or it was referenced that a bond would be needed, that was part of their strategy to just get bonds early on. And some people have had bonds or surety in place for a couple of years anticipating CARM. When CARM finally said they were going to be launching, they acknowledged that there would be that 6 month period. First off, they said in May, hi, we're going to launch, and you'll have until October to get that bond after we go live with this particular release. Because they delayed that to October. Now they started in October and they say now you've got 6 months or basically until I think it's April 19th. Is that correct, Sarah?
Pretty much, I think that's the date.
So that's the deadline.
So, I mean, you are correct that technically you're paying before you need it. You have to keep in mind that grace period is there to support all importers' needs, right? It's gonna take some time to get all these importers that have not had a bond previously through. So you are ahead of the curve, but that means you're paying for a bond a little sooner.
Thanks, guys. Okay, let's see. We are at the half an hour, so we will go ahead and wrap up the session for today. And we'll mark this as the conclusion of our 5th and last open mic session for the week. Likely more to be scheduled for next, so stay tuned. I want to thank everyone again for attending and asking such insightful questions. And special thanks to, of course, again, Al and Sarah for sharing their knowledge to help us better understand the recent changes brought about by CARM. So as a reminder, follow-up email will be sent out with links to the recording and additional CARM resources. We will also notify the individuals who asked those live questions about their GHY care package. I just want to share really quickly a little bit of detail on that care package with the GHY Blue Guy who loves to travel. So when you get one, wherever you're traveling to, you can submit your pictures to our site. And I can
Some of you
provide
guys think he's a stress ball. With CARM, he could be. Others use him as a cell phone holder, but he likes getting around, and we'll be happy to get him to you and look forward to how and where he fits into your life.
I
You
just
bet.
brought him to Italy, so he's been there.
Yeah, he's been all over the world. We've got a map that features where he's been. And you can submit your pictures right through our website page here. But yeah, I'll send a follow-up link to that. So again, we're always here to support our clients through this journey of CARM and their responsibilities as importers, ensuring compliance with Canada Customs. Of course, please reach out to us at any point. We're always here to help. And yeah, thanks
Have a
again.
great day, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone.